Yeah. He's such a lovable guy. I mean, he really is. Like, he's one of the most lovable human beings that I've ever met. Immediately him and I bonded during the first weekend of filming. Robin Williams had passed, and me and him bonded over that because it was really hard to deal with that loss. I think for our community and the acting community to lose Robin Williams, felt like we lost a father figure. And working with him, he really kind of put his arm around me, and he hasn't stopped putting his arm around me this whole entire time. Not in a weird way. Yeah, even after I asked him to stop, like, stop. He's like, no means no. But no, he has never stopped putting his arm around me. He, to this day, has been like, look, I've had 10 years to grow with this fandom, and I became famous with this fandom. Anybody who is on the show gets, like, welcome. And you're like, whoa! This is a wild ride. It's like going to Disneyland without any, people to help you out. You're just like, well, which ride am I on? And Jared's always putting his arm around me, and he's always giving me this wonderful, incredible advice. He's become like essentially like a dear friend and a brother to me, and all the guys. They're all, even Martin Shepard, oddly enough, is always just, when we were in Germany, Misha was incredibly kind about how to run charities and giving me input because he's such a professional running charities. And he was like, hey man, anytime I can help you with anything you're doing. And I said, I'd really love that. And Misha's, one of those guys that I admire for all that he does. And Jensen, spent some time with me in Rome and really had some heart-to-heart talks with me, which were really kind. But all of those guys have really kind of put their arm around me. So anytime I get a chance to beat up on them, yeah, it's awesome. And they're also tall. All of them. Everybody, I think that's why me and Mark get along, we're the same size. He's like, all right, good, you're my size. But yeah, it was fun beating up on him because, you're talking about a guy who's done a TV show for 10 years. So like every little scene we did was always, I was learning something from him. And he was like the first person I really learned from. The guy I learned how to stand on an apple box and throw a punch. I never had to throw a punch on an apple box before, which is interesting. Interesting, I don't suggest it. No. The short person understands, where are you? It's a short person joke. Woo! Short people! But thank you. Hello? It's so loud.
Hi.
Hello.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to thank you for your service because I actually work in the Veterans Office.
It's very sweet of you to say.
And thank you to all the other veterans who are sitting and active members.
Isn't it incredible? Like, it really is. Yeah. It's so sweet of you to say thank you. The things I think you guys who have served in the military, like the time I was in the military, like you essentially lose your freedom. You are no longer a citizen of the United States. Like when we got to boot camp, we had to stand on 2 footprints, look up, and we had to read the USMCJ, which is the United States Military Code of Justice. And the first thing it says to you is like, you're no longer a citizen of the United States, you're now property of the US government. And I was like, you are no longer a citizen, property, what? Like, wait, I don't have any rights? Can I leave? They're like, nope. I said, but if I want to leave, they're like, you go to jail. I said, for how long? They're like, 2 years. I go, what happens after that? They're like, you're dishonorably discharged, it'll be hard to find a job in the civilian world, and you're just gonna end up withering and dying, so you should just stay. And I'm like, left, right, left, right. It's hard. You still have to do that? Oh, that's amazing. Isn't it incredible, like boot camp? Like when you get in, you're like, oh man, this is not like summer camp. No, we couldn't smile, we couldn't laugh, we couldn't talk, the hardest thing I've ever done in the military, two of the hardest things I've ever done in the military is we had to stand at attention. Like this, don't lock your knees. If you lock your knees, you'll pass out. Yes. Like in photo op lines, don't lock, like when Jared and Jensen are here next week, don't lock your knees. Or on Sunday, you guys will just pass out. Or you'll just pass out anyway, so. But the hardest thing I ever did was I had to stand still. Like literally stand still like this, 8 hours. 8. Like at attention, sucked in, knees bent, straight, and then you literally have someone come and inspect all 400 people in your platoon, which takes about 8 hours. So when they get to you, you have to say like, you know, three things they ask you. You have to answer them correctly. If you answer them wrong, you don't graduate. And so you're waiting, and then you do this rifle drill, and then you know, do your questions, and then you do the rifle drill, and then they move on, and then you stand there again for 8 hours. You can't itch, you can't scratch, you can't sneak, you can't do nothing. So just 8 hours of this. Not fun at all. So much fun being up here. Trust me.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm from Mexico.
You're from Mexico? What part?
Mexico City.
Yes! I love Mexico City. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
My question is, if you could play any other character in the show, which one would you want?
Oh God, you know, that's a good. If I could play any other character on the show, who would it be? I don't want to play bad people anymore. Bad people are really hard to channel, and it you know, it makes it's just really difficult to channel something bad, and it just wears on you. I don't feel tall enough to play Jared's role at all. Jensen's just too handsome. Just can't do that. Too handsome. I mean, I would have to say, from what Misha has and what he's done with this character, like literally what he's done with the character of Misha, the character of Castiel, the character of Misha. Yeah, like he's created such a, I was just telling him, I was like, dude, like I got to catch your episode of 24, like I watched him on 24, and I was blown away about, I just, what an incredible difference between what he played on 24 and what he does with Supernatural. And I just love what he's brought to his character on Supernatural. Like, I'm slowly catching up with watching all the seasons. It was a lot. Like, they're like, hey, you're gonna be on the show, and it's like, okay, I don't have time to watch 10 seasons, or 9 seasons at the time. But I've been watching the show, and I've been watching all the actors and their work, so when I see them here and I meet them, I can kind of talk to them about their work. And what he's done with that character has been pretty incredible. So I'm not sure if I'd want that, because I'd probably not be liked if I did it wrong, and he's done it really right. But I think that character, if it was like approached to me when it was casting, if that character was available, I think that's a really great character to play, and he's gained so many wonderful fans and followers, and they do so many wonderful things. So yeah, I think that would be the character, or God. Right? Who doesn't want to be God? Like Morgan Freeman was God, and Bruce Almighty. But yeah, George Burns was God, right?